Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today. For this one we are going to do yet another sake review, and as I've told you many a time, this is a little kind of side branch of the channel that I just really enjoy doing whenever I get the opportunity. So I hope you guys enjoy these sake tasting videos. By no means am I an expert in sake. I do have a good palate from reviewing kind of craft beer mainly, but also a little bit of whiskey. But again, this is something that I just really enjoy, and it's all part of my kind of personal learning experience about Japanese sake. So for this one we are going to visit another new prefecture. I've never reviewed a sake from this one, and I don't think I've ever tried a sake from this prefecture actually. So we're going to go to Yamagata prefecture, and we're visiting quite a famous whiskey brewery actually. So for this one we are going to go to Dewazakura Shuzo, and we're having a taste of their Kijoshu. So this one comes in at 17%, and it's the Kijoshu is actually a different type of sake, where they basically add some sake to the brewing process in the third stage of the fermentation. Japanese sake, of course, has a triple fermentation process, and they all run in parallel basically. And during the third stage of this, of course, they add little yeasts to it normally, but instead of adding the tome, the rice, from what I understand, they add different sake in there, and it continues to ferment again. This style was developed back in the 1970s, and the idea was they wanted to create something a little bit more expensive. Apparently at Japanese state functions they were drinking a lot of champagnes and wines from Europe and things like this, and they were a little bit kind of peeved that the Japanese sakes, for being such a kind of handmade artisanal product, these weren't getting much of a look in, so they decided to develop the Kijoshu, and this was what became one of the more kind of expensive brands of sake. But even so, I didn't actually pay all that much for this one, and it's the first of its kind that I'm actually going to taste for you here on the channel. So very, very curious about trying this one, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this. This is supposed to be a very, very sweet sake, so it should be very, very nice. So we'll see how we get on with this one. But anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that hopefully I can do in the future from Dewazakura Shuzo. Very first time I'm trying one of their sakes, as I mentioned, but hopefully not the last. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more sake reviews and beer reviews and whiskey reviews and things like that, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beers, whiskies, sakes based on country, city, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of things from different countries. There's ones for all the different beers from different countries, and I will make one for the different sakes, maybe from different prefectures and stuff, once I've got a little bit more of it. But as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers, whiskies, sakes and things like that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, on to my brewery notes then, to tell you a little bit about Dewazakura Shuzo. So the Dewazakura Sake Brewery was founded back in 1892 by Seijiro Nakano, and it can be found in Tendo in Yamagata Prefecture, which is a little bit to the north of Tokyo. But they're still family owned, and the current CEO of the company is Masumi Nakano. And as I've mentioned to you many a time, these Japanese sake breweries, they're very similar in fact to the German beer breweries. A lot of them are just kind of family owned, but the Tendo city is a very small town of only 60,000 people, and it's known for having very, very hot summers, but also very large snowfalls in the winter, which can reach up to 1 metre deep. And apparently this has led to the region becoming very well known for its production of sake rice and fruits. But this brewery was actually one of the first to market the Ginjo type of sake, and they sold their first of this kind, which was the Oka Ginjo, back in 1980. And they say that they sold this for an affordable price, and this really helped lead to a Ginjo boom over the coming years. And in the years since, they've continued to grow their exports, and on their website it was saying they're exporting their sakes to places like Argentina, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, I think Singapore, and some places in Europe as well. I think they were saying they were exporting to Germany and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it's really, really interesting that, and as I say, this is a sake brewery that is one of the more kind of famous ones, if you like. But these sake breweries, it's probably you know, the Japanese sake, the reason I enjoy these is that they are, you know, they're such a kind of handmade artisanal product, probably even more than the different craft beers and things like that. There's a lot of actual, you know, hands-on kind of things goes on with the rice, with dealing with the rice and stuff like that during the brewing process, even just to get the rice to take in certain amounts of water, they kind of hand wash it and stuff like this. It's very, very interesting. I really do hope that I can go and visit a sake brewery at one point, but the problem is finding one that offers tours in English. But yeah, really interesting company, this one. There's never all that much available in terms of information on these sake breweries, so we'll just kind of go with what we got. But yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more, you can check out the brewery website. The link is in the video description below, and as always, you know, you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and things like that as well. But there's not that many of these sake breweries and stuff have Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah, let's have a look at this one. Let's see, have a taste of this one. Like I said, this one is a 70% Kijoshu sake, and it says on the back here the rice grain is milled down to 50%, so if it was going to be something, that would take it down to a daiginjo. To be honest, because daiginjos are where they mill the rice grain down to 50% of its original size to take away the bran from the outside. But yeah, lovely presented sake, this one. The label on this is very, very nice. And as I say, the Kijoshu was developed back in the 1970s just to, basically so that they had a slightly more expensive sake, and they're adding more sake into the third stage of the fermentation with this one. The sake brewing process is really interesting. I'd love to go and study it actually with my kind of chemistry and physics background. I would love to learn to brew some Japanese sake actually, because there's only one brewery that we have in Europe actually. But lovely presented sake, this one. There's the bottle cap on this one there. I'm not sure if I'm holding that upright or not. I really don't know actually with some of these kanjis. I think, there you go, I think that's it upright now, but nicely presented this. And yeah, 17%. So without further ado, let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting then, if I can actually get a grip of the bottle to open it up. Come on. This guy doesn't want to open up. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, let's get this guy out and into the glass. Oh, this one has a really nice colour to it actually. This is only quite a small bottle, this one. This is just a little half-litre bottle. Most of the sake bottles, right enough, are 700s or 720 millilitres. But you can see the colour of this one. This one is actually this one's quite a noticeable kind of greeny yellow. If you look at that, this one definitely has a very noticeable colour to it. And as I've always told you, the different sakes and things, they tend to be, you know, very, very clear. They don't have too much in the way of a variability in their colour, but this one, as you can see, definitely has a nice sort of green tinge to it. It does look very, very nice. Yeah, I don't think I've seen one that's this colour, but you know, the things that affect the colour of the sake usually are just the different varieties of rice. You know, wherever you grow the rice, there's different nutrients in the soil and things like that. They can treat it with different fertilisers and all of this, and you know, it's milled down to different sizes as well. Every mill kind of has its own sort of unique individual features and things like that. And that's, as I was saying, the Japanese sake is a very, very artisanal product, probably even more so than the craft beers that I normally review. But yeah, this looked absolutely beautiful, so let's take a look at the aroma and just see how we get on. As I always mention to you in these videos, the things that we should rate sake on according to the experts are floralness, fruit, earthiness, sweetness, dryness, acidity, impact, and also tail. Those are the different things that we should look at. I am by no means an expert when it comes to sake. This is just something that I enjoy doing because I do have a good palate from the whiskey and beer reviews that I do. So yeah, let's take a look at the aroma of this one then. Ooh, yeah. This one to me comes across as very, very sweet. Yeah, the in-laws are just enjoying a little bit of Japanese comedy over the New Year period. But yeah, to me, this one comes across as very sweet. It's actually quite a fruity one, this, I think. The rice, to me, this one, there's a little tiny bit of earthiness in there, and that's just kind of underpinning it, but mainly it's a nice kind of big sweetness that comes out of this one. I suspect from the aroma that there might be a little touch of acidity to it, not a lot. But yeah, it's got a little bit of grassiness. It's mainly a little bit grassy rather than floral, to be honest with you. It's not quite got the sharpness that it would need to be kind of floral and aromatic. But yeah, definitely nice. It's definitely got a little bit of that sort of grassiness to it. I think this one's going to be, you know, it says on the bottle it is sweet, and it definitely smells quite sweet in the aroma. One of these things that's really beautiful in Japan that you can get, and I've had it in Taiwan as well actually, is that you get these nice kind of rice ice creams, and the way that the Japanese can get sweetness out of the rice is just lovely. It's a very kind of unusual flavour for Westerners, right enough. But yeah, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one. Nice little bit of a fruity quality to it as well. I don't know if it's kind of apricot-y. I often think that these sakes are quite apricot-y. It's almost a kind of apricot-y, kind of pineapple-y, and sometimes even a little bit of mango or something like that coming out of them. But yeah, the ricey sweetness in this one's just absolutely lovely, and it's just absolutely lovely. And you know, you've got this nice sort of grassy character. This one, there's a little bit of earthiness in there and a little bit of sweetness as well. I really like how everything goes together in this one. As I always say, these sakes, it tends to be the case that they taste quite similar to how they smell. You know, they are always, you know, really quite close in their aroma profile to their flavour profile. So yeah, as I always say, take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one. I find this one very, very sweet. There is a little bit of earthiness there kind of underpinning it. I suspect there'll be a little bit of acidity in the taste as well, and it's quite grassy, and it does have a little bit of that kind of apricot-y, pineapple-y mango fruit in there. It definitely has a little bit of a citrusy quality to it as well. So as I say, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this before you get stuck in. But we are going to have a taste of this one now. So this one is the Kijoshu from Dewazakura Shuzo in Yamagata Prefecture here in Japan. Let's get stuck in. Slàinte, skål, kanpai. Oh yeah, I'll say straight away, that is absolutely beautiful. You know, that's just a beautiful, beautiful sake. It's the impact of this one. We should talk about impact straight away. It's very, very smooth on its impact. You know, it comes in and it just rolls across your tongue, and it's so, so sweet. It's just, it's beautiful, beautiful sake. Yeah. The sweetness in this one's just, it's just unreal. You know, Kijoshu, I think, this probably would be, and it's a kind of thing, it's the more expensive style, but this would easily be my favourite style of sake after, or I don't know if I would put this one before the Nigoris or after the Nigoris, the unfiltered ones. But this one is just so full of flavour, it's beautiful. The centre of your palate in this one is just blanketed with this lovely sweet ricey quality. It's nice and oily, you know, and this is one of the things, you see this in the Japanese craft beers as well. They like to use a little bit of sake brewing technique in their craft beers, and it just has this lovely, lovely sweetness to it. The impact of this one is very, very smooth, and you just get this nice oily character, this oily ricey sweetness that just rolls across your tongue. To me, the rice in this one, it does have a little subtle earthiness to it, I would say. It's got a little bit of a slightly sweet earthiness to it, and that suits it very, very well. Towards the front of the palate though, this sake is coming across as a little bit more fruity, and around the edge of the front curve of your tongue, it's got a little bit of that grassy and floral quality there, and it's not dry at all. This sake to me is definitely not dry. Yeah, this sake is most definitely not a dry one in the slightest. There's maybe a little hint of acidity in there because it comes in and you can feel on the kind of front edges of your palate just how sweet it is. It really just has a very nice kind of it has a little bit, it's not even a bite, it's just a very, very kind of sweet quality actually. It's got a really lovely sweetness to it, this one, as it comes in, and it just, that, as I say, that sweetness just rolls across the middle of the tongue, around the front edges of your palate. You've got a nice sort of grassiness in there. This one is definitely, I would go as far as saying this is the best sake that I've reviewed so far. This is just absolutely, you know, it really is just lovely. This one, to me, it has a little bit of dryness in the tail end of it, but in the tail end of this one, it really is very, very sweet. That nice sweetness that it has with the little kind of subtle earthiness in it, just kind of lingers there, and some of the sort of grassy notes come out of it too. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what fruit it is. To me, as I say, a lot of these sakes come across as having a little bit of an apricot-y note to it. I don't know if it's a little bit of mango, or it could be a little bit mango-y, I think. I think there's a little touch of mango in this one. Yeah, I want to say like mangoes, apricots, things like that. It reminds me, the flavour in this one kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the, you know, of some of the different yogurts that my mum used to give me when I was younger. The fruity notes in this are just beautiful. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what fruit it is. I mean, it's not as clear cut as the hops that you get in craft beers, where you kind of know, right, all right, that's melon. That, you know, it's quite an interesting way that these fruity esters combine with the sweetness of the rice in this one. But yeah, beautiful sake. This, as I say, a little bit of floralness kind of around the edge of the tongue, but the fruitiness at the front of your palate as well is just lovely, and the centre of your palate is very, very sweet in this, and it has a little bit of an earthiness just kind of underpinning it. As I say, a little touch of acidity to this one, but I think very, very mild for me. This one doesn't have any of that kind of sort of sourness or tartness that you can get from some of these things, and the mouthfeel overall I think is quite oily. It really has a nice big oily character, this one. Yeah, lovely big oily mouthfeel to this guy. And it's just a huge kind of lovely sweet flavour. I mean, this is just a beautiful sake. If you get the chance to try this one, I highly, highly recommend that you have a go at it. And it wasn't even, you know, it wasn't that expensive. I'm sure this one might have only been like, you know, 1,500 yen, 1,500 yen, or something like that. You know, this one was, you know, for the quality of sake here, this is a very expensive variety of sake, right enough, but in terms of its quality, you know, you're going to find it hard to beat this. I think this is quite a famous sake brewery, and as I said, they've produced an absolutely beautiful Kijoshu here. There's a lot of different little small sub-styles like this, but this is just absolutely stunning. So if you get the chance to try this, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you have a go at this one. I really love how this one's coming across. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this. So this one was the Kijoshu from Dewazakura Shuzo in Yamagata, in Tendo City, if I remember correctly, in Yamagata Prefecture here in Japan. Just a beautiful, beautiful sake, and you know, to be fair, this is probably the best one that I've reviewed so far, my favourite one that I've reviewed so far, although I've only filmed about 6 different sake reviews. But yeah, this is absolutely lovely, and I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on this one. I've really enjoyed reviewing this one for you. So yeah, so as I always say, thank you for watching my reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this one in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite sakes are from Dewazakura Shuzo. It's been really cool to review this one for you. I think I found a new favourite type of sake. As I say, the Kijoshus and then maybe the Nigoris are my favourites. But yeah, this is absolutely lovely. If you enjoy a nice big sweet and oily sake, then this is one that you're certainly going to enjoy. But it does have a little bit of that kind of floral, slightly floral, grassy, and kind of fruity quality that I think you would enjoy. The tail end of this one is very, very sweet, and it's just a beautiful sake. So have a go at it for yourself and see what you think. But thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, Slanja, Skull, and Kampai, and I will see you very soon with more sake reviews. Cheers.